Good morning, children. Sairam. So now we are going to start up a new chapter from the book First Flight, chapter number 10, The Sermon at Benares. Children, how many of you know about Benares? How many of you are aware about the beautiful holy place of Benares? Do you know that Benares is famous for one particular thing? Can any one of you tell that what is Benares famous for actually? Children, it is told that Benares is the one of the holy pilgrimages where the Hindu religion, or you can say the people who are following the Hindu religion, they actually experience an innate peace and tranquility. So now what we are going to discuss about Benares, let's go ahead. But can you, before moving ahead with the discussion of Benares and the story, can you see this picture on the screen, children? And can you recollect or co-connect with these pictures? Hopefully, maybe yes and maybe no. Okay, before moving ahead, just let's have a look on the new words and their meanings. First, chanced upon, that is, came across by chance. Enlightenment, a state of high spiritual knowledge. Sermon, religious or moral talk. Dipping places, bathing. Inscrutable, something which cannot be understood. Repaired, a stylistic use. When to. Afflicted with, affected by suffering, disease or pain. I repeat, affected by a suffering, disease or a pain. Lamentation, expression of sorrow or grief. One important question before moving ahead with the discussion of the chapter. What is the meaning of sermon? I repeat, what is the meaning of sermon? A religious discourse delivered in public, usually by a member of a clergy as a part of worship service or a speech on conduct or duty. So, one small linking question, that whether a sermon is a lecture or not. A sermon is different from a lecture or a talk. What can be said? Children, a sermon means a lecture, not a lecture actually, a informal talk which is used to reconcile or make people aware or get the people's nerves related to the awareness about religion and its responsibilities. Then, what is the sermon at Benares? Now, why and how? The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Benares and most holy of the dipping places in the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. It reflects the Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died. And this story made eventual differences in what the life Gautam Buddha was leading and what he actually led. Children, if we talk about the introduction, let's go through the introduction. The sermon at Benares throws light upon the early life of Lord Buddha, who was originally born as a prince in a royal family. on being exposed to the sufferings of the world, which he was earlier shielded from, he left his princehood and went in search of salvation, thus leaving all the worldly pleasures behind. Upon attaining spiritual awakening, he gave his first sermon in the city of Benares, hereby making a lady named Kisa Gautami realize that men are mortal and a wise person should not grieve at what is bound to happen, for it only enhances pain and suffering. The story is about a moral lesson which Gautam Buddha gave to a woman, Kisa Gautami, and to the sensitive nature which she had towards the sufferings of a man. At a very young age, he gave up all worldly pleasures to seek enlightenment. He actually recounseled, or you can say counseled, Kisa Gautami, who actually came in tears to Gautam Buddha on the demise of her son. After the demise means death of her son. She wanted Buddha to give her some medicine for her son. But Buddha advised her to go and collect a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one had lost child, husband, parent, or friend. When Gautami could not get such a house, she understood the secret of life and death, the very meaning of Buddha's words. In such a condition, it was very difficult for the lady to cope up with her situations when she lost her son. But when, on Buddha's advice, she went house to house, she realized what was the real fact of life. Okay. So children, before moving to the discussion and explanation, let's switch to the NCERT book for a quick reading. Okay. Chapter number 10, the sermon at Benares. Gautam Buddha, 563 BC to 483 BC, began life as a prince named Siddhartha Gautama in northern India. At 12, he was sent away for schooling in the Hindu sacred scriptures, and 4 years later, he returned home to marry a princess. They had a son and lived for 10 years as befitted royalty. At about age of 25, the prince heretofore shielded from the sufferings of the world, while out hunting, chanced upon a sick man, then an aged man, then a funeral procession, and finally a monk begging for alms. These sights so moved him that he at once went out into the world of no luxury but only enlightenment, concerning the sorrows for 7 years, and finally sat down under a peepal tree, where he vowed to stay until enlightenment came. Enlightened after 7 years, 7 days, he renamed the tree the Bodhi tree, that is, the tree of wisdom, and began to teach and to share his new understandings. At that point, he became known as the Buddha, the awakened or the enlightened. The Buddha preached his first sermon at the city of Benares, the most holy of the dipping places on the river Ganges. That sermon has been preserved and is given here. It reflects Buddha's wisdom about one inscrutable kind of suffering. Now, when we talk about suffering, According to Lord Buddha, life was mortal. When we actually take a chance of Kisa Gautami, if we take the instance of Kisa Gautami, Kisa Gautami had an only son and he died. This grief she carried, and this grief was very heavy. I mean, there was no solution, there was no medicine, there was no solution to her grief and pain. She carried the dead child to all her neighbors, asking them for medicine. And the people said that she has lost her senses as the boy is dead. At length, she met a man who replied to her request. I cannot give the medicine for thy child, but I know a physician who can. And the girl said, Pray tell me, sir, who is it? And the man replied, Go to Syakamuni, the Buddha. Kisa Gautami repaired to the Buddha and cried, Lord Buddha and Master, give me the medicine that will cure my boy. Then Buddha answered, I want a handful of mustard seeds. And when the girl in her joy promised to procure it, the Buddha added, the mustard seeds heard about the demand of Lord Buddha, she jumped out of joy that Buddha will cure her child just with a handful of mustard seeds. But the only condition that Lord Buddha kept in front of her was the mustard seeds must be taken from a house where no one has lost a child, husband, parent, or friend. Poor Kisa Gautami now went from house to house, and the people pitied her and said, Here is mustard seed, take it. But when she asked, Did a son or daughter, father or mother die in your family? They answered her, Alas, the living are few, but the dead are many. Do not remind us of our deepest grief. And there was no house, but some beloved one had died in it. She became weary and hopeless and sat down at the wayside watching the lights of the city as they flickered up and were extinguished again. At last, the darkness of the night reigned everywhere, and she considered the fate of men, that their lives flicker up and are extinguished again. And she thought to herself, How selfish am I in my grief? Death is common to all. Yet in this valley of desolation, there is a path that leads him. There is a path that leads him to immortality who has surrendered all selfishness. Then Buddha said, The life of mortals in this world is troubled and brief and combined with pain. For there is no means by which those that have been born can avoid dying. After reaching an old age, death is specific. According to Buddha, the life of mortals is troubled because they have not made peace with the fact that the one who is born must rest eternally. There is no way a living being can avoid facing death. Just like a ripe fruit is more prone to falling, an aged mortal is bound to die. Just like all earthen vessels break at some point, so do men. Whether old or young, foolish or wise, death leaves none. If we are talking about old mud vessels, what happens? The potter creates it with full care. Mud, water, clay, whatever is required, the potter makes it with full heart. It's not for one pot, but for every pot. Same it happens for the human beings. God makes creatures with the same passion, love, and dedication. But when the time arrives, with the passage of time, death has to arrive, and life meets departure. According to Lord Buddha, one should not grieve, weep, or be miserable as something which is bound to happen, for it will keep man away from obtaining peace of mind. It will only multiply the pain of suffering, thus lead to physical weakness, and moreover, no amount of grief would bring back the dead. It is very important to understand that one must move past feelings like sorrow and grief, as it is only way that leads to the path of salvation. So, according to Lord Buddha, for those who overcome by death depart from life. A father cannot save his son, nor kinsmen their relations. Mark, while relatives are looking on and lamenting deeply, one by one mortals are carried off like an ox that is led to the slaughterer. Say that the world is afflicted with the death and decay. So it is wise not to grieve, knowing the terms of world. So, in short, we can say that he who seeks peace should draw out arrow of lamentation and complaint and grief. He who has drawn out the arrow has become composed and will obtain peace of mind. He who has overcome all sorrow will become free from sorrow and be blessed. So that's it, children. Thank you and Sai Ram.